Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into a totally surprising what-if scenario that could have completely rewritten the emotional heart of Friends. And no, we're not talking about Ross and Rachel. We're not even talking about Monica and Chandler. We're exploring the wild, hidden potential of Joey and Monica. I know at first glance it sounds kind of impossible, right? You've got the lovable, sandwich-eating actor who literally never took relationships seriously, paired up with the highly competitive, high-strung woman who meticulously planned out every single detail of her future. But I promise you, as we unpack the source material today, you're going to see a completely different side to this story.
So, what if one small change rewrote everything we know about this iconic group? The whole premise of Joey and Monica actually working out as a couple seems crazy on the surface. But the deeper you look into their dynamic and their psychological profiles, the more you realize something genuinely shocking. They might have actually been perfect for each other. And honestly, once we go through the clues we've uncovered, you simply won't be able to unsee it.
Let's start with Section 1, the hidden chemistry. A comfortable connection.
Unlike Ross and Rachel, whose relationship was incredibly loud, dramatic, and built on years of all this hidden, angsty tension, Joey and Monica actually had a totally different foundation right from the very beginning of the series. Even before romance ever entered the picture, their emotional compatibility was just hiding in plain sight. I mean, if you look at the early seasons, they honestly acted more like a hidden married couple than just friends. Monica's constantly cooking for him, and Joey consistently protects her emotionally. Their whole apartment dynamic already feels incredibly domestic, long before Chandler was ever in the picture romantically. Plus, it really didn't hurt that the actors themselves shared this incredibly easy, natural on-screen chemistry. It never felt forced, it was just comfortable.
Moving on to Section 2, beneath the sitcom tropes, reevaluating the characters.
So most people just remember Joey Tribbiani as the funny womanizer who never shared food, right? But underneath all that sitcom exaggeration, he was deeply affectionate, constantly protecting his friends, and he really possessed a massive heart. Despite his whole reputation for casual dating, he actually cared far more sincerely than a lot of the others.
Okay, let's dive into this. Monica spent almost her whole life searching for stability. She desperately wanted commitment, loyalty, warmth, and a family. Now on paper, Chandler became the perfect answer to that dream. But Joey actually shared many of those exact same qualities, just in a completely different form. The big difference here is that Chandler challenged Monica intellectually with his quick wit and his sarcasm, whereas Joey comforted her emotionally. And when you're dealing with someone as high-strung as Monica, that shift from intellectual challenge to emotional comfort, it changes absolutely everything about how she operates day to day.
Which brings us to Section 3, the alternate timeline, the turning point.
Picture this specific inciting incident. It's Season 1. Monica is feeling deeply insecure after yet another failed relationship. Now, instead of making a quick joke and walking away, Joey stays. He just sits there and listens. He looks at her and tells her she deserves someone who sees how caring she really is beneath all that control and perfectionism. In that single moment of emotional simplicity, Monica notices something she never really saw before. Joey understands her. Not because he's overly analytical like Ross or sarcastic like Chandler, but because he feels things honestly. He simply gives emotion without overthinking it. And that slow pull of emotional simplicity is exactly what it would take to draw Monica toward him.
If Joey actually fell in love with Monica, it would trigger a massive psychological shift for his character, moving him straight toward what we call emotional permanence. For the first time in his entire life, Joey wouldn't just be chasing physical attraction. He'd be chasing a lasting, consistent emotional connection. And let's be real, that is a terrifying prospect for someone like Joey. But unlike Rachel, who we saw Joey fall for later in the actual show, Monica would never play games with his feelings. Her mere presence would force him to grow up naturally. He would suddenly start to care about responsibility and consistency simply because he'd want to be someone worthy of her.
Joey rarely judged the people he loved. He accepted them completely. Think about that for a second. Beneath Monica's extreme competitiveness and all that perfectionism was someone who was absolutely terrified of rejection. Joey's total lack of judgment, his unconditional warmth, would finally give Monica the profound emotional safety she spent her entire life craving.
That leads into Section 4, rewriting the group dynamic, the ripple effect.
Now here is the biggest twist of this whole alternate timeline, and this brilliantly illustrates how everything changes. If Monica and Joey became a couple, the entire ecosystem of the friend group completely shifts. In the real show, Monica was the person who ultimately helped Chandler overcome his deep, deep fear of commitment. Without her doing all that heavy emotional lifting, Chandler might stay trapped in his defensive humor indefinitely. So in this timeline, Chandler actually becomes the lonely one, not Joey. And suddenly, Joey and Monica become the stable, emotional center of the entire group.
Let's look at Section 5. Would it actually work? Analyzing the friction.
When we weigh the relationship, we see incredible mutual balance, but also some severe friction points. On the balance side, when Monica became obsessive, Joey could naturally pull her back toward joy. When Joey became immature, Monica could gently guide him toward responsibility. They honestly fill each other's gaps perfectly. But the friction would definitely be undeniable. Monica's intense need for structure would eventually collide super hard with Joey's carefree lifestyle. His ongoing acting career instability could frustrate her deeply, and her need to control every single situation might make Joey feel pretty inadequate over time.
Which brings us to a really crucial point. Joey attached emotionally with his whole heart. Because Joey wasn't naturally sarcastic or emotionally guarded like Chandler, he completely lacked a sarcastic filter. That means when Joey and Monica fought, their arguments wouldn't be diffused by some quick, witty joke. They would be intensely emotional. But honestly, that might actually make their relationship even stronger. Joey rarely hid how he felt, and Monica desperately needed exactly that kind of raw emotional transparency from the people she loved.
Monica spent years just wanting to be fully chosen by someone. Not tolerated, not settled for. Chosen. And when Joey loved someone, we saw time and time again that he loved them completely. He would choose Monica every single day. Maybe not elegantly, maybe not perfectly, but with absolute sincerity. And sincerity without conditions was something Monica rarely received. Underneath all the sitcom comedy, the show is always about people searching for real connection. Joey and Monica honestly represent the absolute fulfillment of that theme in the most unexpected way possible.
Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer. Could Joey and Monica have actually lasted? Would this natural, beautiful emotional balance help them survive the real world, or would their deep personality differences eventually tear the relationship apart? It's just fascinating to realize that Joey was vastly more emotionally capable than people gave him credit for, and Monica simply needed softness way more than she needed perfection. It really goes to show you how one different choice, one single moment of emotional honesty, can completely rewrite an entire story. So what do you think? Keep questioning the things you think you know, and we'll see you next time.